In this video, I want to show you the comparison, the company comparison tab on the left-hand side. So why you use this specific page is when you want to compare the financials between multiple companies, right? So for example, here I'm comparing Microsoft, I'm comparing Google. So for example, if I want to change it, so I'm going to change it to Facebook, I'm going to change it to a technology company, and I'm probably going to change it to another technology company. So a smaller technology company. So this is in cybersecurity. This is CrowdStrike right here. And you can see this is basically a duplicate of the stuff you can find in the financials page. But if I scroll down, it's easy for you, especially if you have a big screen, and then you can see from left to right, right? Everything from the PE, TTM, the free cash flow, the debt, for example. And then on the right hand side, you can see the quality of the company. Is it growing net profits over year on year? And you can see very, very easily, for example, right? Facebook is a very well-run company. You can see all of the green here, all of the yeses. You can see all of the yeses here as well, right? So it's very easy for you to compare, right? Is it growing revenue? Yes. Is it growing net profit? Yes. All right. On the right hand side, you can see, yeah, there are some no's here. Is it profitable annually on an annual basis? No. Is it growing revenue? Yes, right? So you can really see side by side the difference between the two companies. At the bottom here, you can see quarterly, annually, and live. And then you can compare the charts from left to right, right? So you can see the price chart, the market cap. And if you want to open one of these charts, you can go ahead and open it as well. If you want to understand a definition of the chart, you can hover the mouse over here as well. All right. And then you can see, compare the revenue, right? So you can see directly, Facebook has produced about $48 billion, if I'm not wrong, on a quarterly basis right here. And CrowdStrike produces about $1 billion in revenue in a quarter, right? So Facebook is almost 48 times bigger than CrowdStrike, right? And just with these metrics, you can basically compare businesses side by side, right? You can also see the net income, right? How much profit they're making. Versus here, for example, CrowdStrike has recently became unprofitable again. All right, so a tale of two different companies, two different stories. You can see Facebook is much better in gross margin than a CrowdStrike, even though both of them are technology companies, right? So you can clearly tell advertising is a better business or a more profitable business than a cybersecurity SaaS, right? The EBITDA over here as well, Facebook is climbing steadily versus CrowdStrike over here is very, very choppy. Right, so you may not want to invest in CrowdStrike purely because Facebook could potentially be a safer play for you, right? So you can go down the list and you can basically compare side by side. But more importantly, is that you get a very, very good sensing based on the data right here. All right, if you want to change it to an annual basis, you can also change it to an annual basis right here, and then the data will populate. If you want to change the years as well, I can change it to a 5-year chart, right? So you can compare it on a 5-year chart as well. And if you want to see the live data, so the live data is very much, right now the market is open. So this is the most recent data based on 30-minute delays, right? And then you can see the market cap change as well. All right, so if you're actually going to buy a stock really soon, then probably you might want to use the live tab, right? If not, you can just go and do fundamental analysis on the annual charts right here. And you could really, really get a good sense of whether the company is performing or not. Right at the bottom right here, you can see there are similar companies, right? So Facebook is being compared to a Baidu, a Pinterest, a Snapchat, and a Google, right? Because most of them are in internet technology. And for example, Alphabet right here and Snap, they sell advertising. And Baidu as well. This is a search engine in China. They also sell advertising, right? So they're being compared to these. Versus if you compare it with software infrastructure plays, so CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity B2B SaaS software. So they're compared to a Microsoft, which sells Excel, PowerPoint, compared to Oracle, which sells database, Palantir, which sells B2B SaaS, data analytics, Adobe, which is B2B SaaS, but they sell to designers, for example, right? Palo Alto, which is another cybersecurity play, right? So you could really get ideas of like what other companies you would like to compare with, basically. All right. And so for example, right, you've done this very, very simple search right here. You found a very good company that you want to compare it to. So Palo Alto here is a very similar company to CrowdStrike, basically, right? So what you want to do over here is You can search Palo Alto Networks right here, and then you can pull up the Palo Alto chart, right? And you can see directly comparison. Palo Alto right here is about 122 billion. CrowdStrike is at 105 billion. So actually CrowdStrike is just smaller than Palo Alto, right? And then a direct comparison, right? Okay, you can see over here, CrowdStrike revenue basis on an annual basis. Okay, it is bigger than Palo Alto, right? On an expenses basis, they also spend more money than Palo Alto, right? Gross margin is quite similar over here. Net income, a different story. So it seems that Palo Alto is just making a ton more profit versus CrowdStrike, very, very choppy, right? So these are considerations you need to think about when you do fundamental investing, right? It's like companies in similar sector, similar product offering, they could have a very similar valuation, right? A 105 and a 122. But if you look at under the hood, right, under the fundamentals and stuff, it just seems that CrowdStrike is experiencing very choppy waters right there, right? Could potentially because they created one of the they had a scandal, right? They basically forced a lot of companies to shut down because their software bugged out, something like that, right? It could be because of that. We don't know, but you got to do more research. But just from the data, if you look at the data, right, it seems that Palo Alto as an investment just has much lower risk if you think about it, right? But if you believe in the mission of CrowdStrike, if you believe in the fundamentals that they will turn it around, then yeah, maybe CrowdStrike is the one for you, right? So ultimately, when you're doing fundamental analysis and when you're doing analysis on your own, look at the numbers. Like just make sure that whatever hypothesis that you have about the company, it is supported by numbers as well. All right. So this is how you basically use the compare tab, and you can basically see like just by comparing different companies, you can tell a story. You can figure out what is happening in the company and whether you can assess this is a good company worth investing in the first place. All right.